teachers and friends. In today's class, let us discuss on the topic land resources. Before getting into the topic, what do you mean by resources? Yes, the resources can be defined as anything. It may be an object or it may be some fact which adds value to our life. For example, when we say about a child, for a child, the toy which he plays with him becomes a resource for him. For a student, the notebook or the pencil box or the notebook which he is using to study, it becomes resources for him. Resources are anything that has the utility and adds value to our life. Now, can we define what will be natural resources? The resources we take from the nature or see in nature are called as natural resources. We can say the crude oil or the natural gas which is in unrefined form, or the gold or the minerals. All these things, sun, water, all these are examples for natural resources. These things we get it from the nature. So we call all these, whichever we gave as an example, as natural resources. Robert Hamprin, he defines natural resources as the repositories of all the factors that provide for or interfere in the growth and development of human society. So here in this picture, we can see how the natural resources can be divided. Now let us go to the next topic, that is the different kinds of natural resources. Broadly, we can define natural resources into 6 types. They are land resources, mineral resources, forest resources, food resources, water resources, and energy resources. So from the name itself, we can find out what is the meaning of each and every one. So land resources, it just talks about what are the resources which are about land. Mineral resources, about the mineral resources which we get from nature. In today's class, let us discuss in detail about the land resources. What do you mean by land, or why do we need land? Man uses land for his agricultural purposes, and since it is useful for the purpose of agriculture and for residential purposes, we can say it is the most important natural resource in this world. Land is also used for building constructions, laying roads, laying railway roads, etc. Along with this, we can use land for cattle grazing, mine farming, industrial establishments also. So it becomes the duty of each one of us to take care of the land resources for the betterment of an individual and also the nation. Now let us see how the land is getting degraded. Degraded in the sense how it is getting spoiled, how it is being damaged. Yes. So let us discuss this land degradation under 2 topics. Okay, one is natural degradation and the next one is man-made degradation. So how we can define natural degradation? It is the damage created to the land by the nature. Man is not responsible for this degradation. So how we can define man-made degradation? It is nothing but the spoiling of the land by the use of human beings. When we use land, it is damaged. We are going to see how it is happening. That is natural degradation and man-made degradation. When we are speaking, we know the population of each and every world is increasing every day. We cannot get land for the overpopulation of the world, and because of this, there is a demand for land, and this is the problem encountered not only by our country, mostly by all the countries in the world. We know that the land is invaluable. Even then, it is continuously being degraded by man. It's put to damage by the natural calamities and by the man-made activities. The land is degraded by the natural calamities. What and all can you give some examples? What and all can be included for natural calamities? Yes, you're right. We can say the landslide, soil erosion, earthquake, flood, and drought also. What can be the degradation done to the land because of man? Yes, we can say deforestation, building of dams, mining, over irrigation, usage of fertilizers for the growth of plants. All these things damage the nature of the land. We'll see what is the meaning of landslide in detail. Okay, as the name indicates, what can be said about landslide? It is nothing but sliding of the mass movement of Earth's soil. Okay, so how we can define it? A landslide is the mass movement of Earth's soil or rock down a mountain slope, that is moving down due to the gravitational force. Natural disasters and men's indiscriminate usage of soil make the lands slide down. There are many ill effects because of this landslide. Okay, just we'll list out some of them. One is using of hill slopes for agricultural over irrigation, constructing of waterways through the soft rock hill slopes, and one more we can say constructing tanks for factories on the hill slope, on the top of the hill slope. Some more ill effects may be included are deforestation in hill slopes, forest fire in the forest of hill slopes, construction of building over the hill slopes. Can you say some more? We can also include constructing roads and buildings over the hill slopes. Because of the overpopulation, we need some land for their residential purpose. So when we are searching for land, if the land available is not enough, we go for hill slopes. We select hill slopes for constructing the buildings. So when the buildings are constructed in the hills, we need some transport to go to that place. So when we are talking about transport, it becomes road and railway roads. So this is the way how we are degrading land, and this causes landslide. Next, let us discuss what is soil erosion. Can you say what is soil erosion? You can see the picture and give me the answer. Yes, soil erosion is nothing but removal of the top area of the soil. தமிழ்ல நம்ம soil erosion சொல்லும்போது என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? Correct, மண் அரிப்புன்னு நம்ம சொல்கிறோம், சரியா? So soil erosion is the drifting of top layer of the soil from one place to another. The important reason for soil erosion are water and wind. Okay, apart from these natural factors, there are some man-made factors also which are responsible for soil erosion. Okay, when we talk about soil, it has a good quality and depth for the plant growth after a very long period of time, for thousands of years. So when there is soil erosion, what happens? The quality of the land also just we are removing. So this is not helpful for the plants for the good growth. Okay, it is said that in Lithuania and Malasaka, about 79% to 85% of land is affected by soil erosion. Okay, there is also a report from UNO which says that by 2030, 1/3 of the land would be affected by soil erosion in India and China. Okay. Now let us discuss what can be the causes of soil erosion. Okay, we are going to discuss it under the headings deforestation, construction of building, overgrazing, all these things. What is the meaning of deforestation? Cutting down of trees. When we need place to build our construction, we are just forced to cut down the trees. This is one cause for soil erosion. So when we are digging a tree, just to remove the roots from the ground, we are digging the earth. So this removes the top layer of the soil. While constructing also, there is a problem of soil erosion. What is overgrazing? For the cattle, for them to provide food, what we do, just cattle are allowed to graze. When many cattle are allowed to do grazing in small area, even the growing plants are lost. They eat the small plants also. So this also spoils the structure of the land. As a result of deforestation by man, 30% of soil erosion occurs all over the world. This is said by a report done by UNO. In Asia and South American countries, deforestation is widely spread. Whenever rain falls and strong wind blows, the soil erosion in open land without plants increases. This is also one reason for uh, deforestation. The soil erosion increases due to the deforestation of man. When we are speaking about construction, what we can say, because of the unscientific building constructions, the soil erosion in a particular area increases. Here what we do, we remove soil from the hill slopes for laying roads and for laying railway roads. Water flowing in these areas erodes the soil much more than in other places. What is overgrazing? Yes, that is cattle. For the cattle, when they are allowed to take food, okay, that process we call it as grazing. Due to overgrazing, 35% of the land is affected by the soil erosion all over the world. Soil erosion due to overgrazing takes place mostly in African countries and in Australia. What is the reason for overgrazing? Yes, the reason for overgrazing is less grazing area for cattle and more cattle in that area. Because of the more cattle are rearing, even the growing grass is also eaten by the cattle and the land becomes open land, and this is the reason for water flow and wind blow to make soil erosion. Now let us discuss how we can prevent soil erosion. What are the methods to avoid soil erosion? The best two methods for avoiding the soil erosion are afforestation and strip cropping. Okay, and some more laws also. Some more laws from the government also helps the prevention of soil erosion. We should ban deforestation by enacting laws so that the soil erosion can be controlled to a maximum extent. We can prevent soil erosion by scientific tilling, plant saplings, farming and harvesting also. Okay, what is the meaning of strip cropping? The picture what we see in this slide is strip cropping. Yes, so you can see strips of plants. We can make cropping that alternates with strips of rows of grass or grass legume mixture. Whatever soil erosion happens that comes from the crop soil is retained by the strip of cover crop, and this reduces the soil erosion. Okay, so here in this example we can see oats, corn and hay crops are being used in strip cropping method. What is afforestation? It is the scientific growing method of trees and plants. This prevents soil erosion as it helps to grow cash crops, which also gives revenue to the farmers. So this method also can be used to prevent soil erosion. So in today's class, what we have discussed what do we mean by resources, what are natural resources, what are the examples of natural resources, the types of natural resources. Under that heading natural resources, we have discussed in detail about land resources, how that land is getting degraded, what are the causes of degradation and how we can prevent land degradation. A word from Swaminathan, Mr. Swaminathan says, if conservation of natural resources goes wrong, nothing else will go right. So, it is the duty of each and every citizen to safeguard our natural resources. Let's work together for it and achieve it. The trees are lungs, the rivers are circulation, the air our breath, and the earth our body. Let's all join our hands to safeguard our natural resources. Thank you.